All right. Again, we're talking about volume. Tonight's episode is finding volume using a different formula. You might be thinking, well, I already learned one formula. You're right, you did. This is something different, and this is something that you might see mentioned in the EOG through some type of question. The wording might be different, and so I want you to be aware of that so that you're able to do your best on that test. Again, the VIC is volume, all right, and volume is the amount of three-dimensional space an object occupies. Volume always refers to 3D, height, width, and length, whereas area is only length and width. When we talk about volume, we always talk about something being measured in cubic measurements, and this is what it is expressed in. It's measured in this. It can be either expressed in words, like we could say cubic yards, for example, or we could use an exponent. This would be cubic yards also. Remember that the exponent 3 means cubic. It refers to the 3 dimensions. In the previous flip video, you learned that the formula for volume was length times width times height. It still is. That is the basic standard formula. However, there is a slightly different formula that you can also use, and this was what I was saying at the beginning of the video, that you might see some questions worded with this new formula, and I want you to be aware of it. I want you to know what it is. For example, now, length times width, that's the area. All right, length times width is area. And it's the area also of the base of a rectangular prism. We're talking about the length of it plus, the width, how wide it is. And length times width is the area. If you wanted to find the volume of a rectangular prism, you would then multiply that third dimension, which is height, along with the base area. All right? And if you're thinking, I don't exactly know what you're talking about, let's look at these examples. Here's our first example. Here's a rectangular prism. We see that the length is 6 feet, the width is 2 feet, the height is 3 feet. If we talk about the base area is what the figure is sitting on. That's its base. You can see that it's sitting on this length and this width. The base area of this figure is 6 times 2, length times width, or if we said what is the area, 12 square feet. The height of the figure is 3 feet. So if we wanted to find the volume of the figure, we would multiply the 12, 6 times 2 is 12, times the height, the 3 feet, which is going to be 36 cubic feet. Would we get the same result if we just used that standard formula of length times width times height? I don't know. Let's check. Let's see. 6 times 2 times 3. That's our 3 dimensions there. Well, 6 times 2 is 12. And 12 times 3, the height, is 36 cubic feet. Yes, it would be the very same. It might be worded differently. The volume of this would be the base of the figure times the height. But remember that the base is the multiplying of the length times the width. That's the base. And you just may not have heard it referred to like that. Here's example 2. We can see that it has a length of 4 centimeters, a width of 3 centimeters, and a height of 7 centimeters. So let's look. The base area would be length times width, just like area is. So 4 times 3 would be 12, and this would be square centimeters. Now the height of the figure is 7 centimeters. How can I tell? I can see it right here. 7 centimeters. So to multiply this, we would multiply the base times the height, and that would give us the volume. And so that would be 12 square centimeter, 12 times 7, which is 84. And since it's volume, we would put the centimeters and the little exponent of 3 to show that it's cubic centimeters. This would be if you were to see 7 layers of centimeter squares or cubes. 3 for the width, and then 7 going up this way, and 4 across because the length is 4. All right, let's look at our practice problems. We have 4. Part of letter D is on the back here. Practice problems, letter A, what's the base area of this figure? Just the base area. B says, what is the volume of the figure in A? If you're not sure about base area and volume, go back and review part of this video. Letter C says, draw a rectangular prism with a base area of 12 square millimeters. Remember that there's several ways to get an area of 12. It could be 6 times 2. It could be 12 times 1. It could be 3 times 4. You think of what it could be. And then letter D, if the height of your figure in C was 10 millimeters, you know what your base area is. If the height was 10 millimeters, what would your overall volume be? If you need to replay any of this to understand what's going on or what it means, you may, of course, always. I leave it up on the, and you can review it tomorrow if you want to. But I do want you to be familiar with what kind of wording that you could see on the EOG. All right? Thanks, and please let me know if you have questions tomorrow. Please let me know. All right? Thanks.